I see dead people.
Welcome to Blondes and Booze. You are about to embark on a journey, one that often leads to more questions than answers. But fear not, your host, Krista, Aaron, and Brandy have the experience, the perseverance, and yes, even the gifts to pull back the veil and allow us to glimpse the other side. They will share not only their experiences, but will introduce you to world-renowned researchers and experiencers to help you find answers in the murky waters of what we call the paranormal. Their bonds with each other reach far beyond friendship, resulting in a pull no punches approach to the many subjects they explore. Their goal? To open eyes, hearts, and even minds to what lies on the other side, and the answers residing there.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Glad you guys could all tune in tonight with us. Brandy was here and she left. She is having internet issues, so hopefully she will get a good connection and she'll be able to join us. So in the meantime, we have Aaron back tonight.
Hello, everyone.
Yay.
Glad to be back tonight.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back finally. There's Brandy.
Yeah, I think my internet's sick with me.
Yeah, I can tell. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight with us, and we got a really good show tonight. I'm pretty excited about this. It's just women, and we're going to sit around and we're going to talk about anything from the Inhumanoid side to paranormal to wherever we want to go with it. So basically, that's the plans. And if you guys have any questions or anything, just put them up in caps lock so we can see. We have tonight Latisha Nunnelly is joining us. NonnaBoss is joining us, and Jessica Jones, she will be here as well. Her show just got over, so she's going to be a few minutes late. So anyway, we appreciate everybody being here. Brandy, are you in the mood to do your spiel?
Yeah, I think I'm okay. If I start coughing, I'm really sorry. Anyway, on Monday at 6:30 p.m. Central, tune into Texas Front Porch, and you can watch me and Tex talk about whatever weirdness we can think of. On Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, we have Van Buren Variety. At 8 p.m. Central, we have Beyond BMR. Wednesday, I'm getting ready to sneeze, and I'm sorry, everybody. I'm trying not to sneeze. Wednesday, we have Jason McLean, Questions Everything at 8 p.m. Central. 8 p.m. on Thursday, we have Blondes and Booze. On 8 p.m. Thursday, or on Fridays, I'm sorry, I'm getting ready to sneeze, and I'm really sorry. 8 p.m. on Fridays, we have Blondes, Booze, and the Woo.
Well, you forgot one show.
And 12 p.m. Central, we have Bigfoot Michigan Rob on Thursdays. This is the day I'm having. Oh my gosh. Lord help me.
Lord
it's like
me,
I've been coughing and sneezing and just trying to get through my day. I am so very sorry, everybody. Plus tomorrow, Krista and I are going out of town. And I'm trying to get all my stuff ready too. So there's a bunch of chaos going on here.
Yep, exactly. So anyway, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to bring up Latisha and Marty, and then we'll just get going here. Thank you guys for both being here. We appreciate you both.
Hi, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we all, Marty, I watch your show, and I can't always watch the live, but I do go back and watch. And you're into a lot of the same things that the blondes are in. I mean, a little bit of everything, it seems like.
Yeah.
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 So,
My
and
channel's
that's,
eclectic for sure.
yeah. And I like that because, you're like us. You kind of cater to everybody. Not everybody's into paranormal. Not everybody's into Bigfoot or UFO type stuff, or metaphysics. And we try to do that too. Try to cater to everybody,
Yeah.
and I appreciate
Sometimes
you do
it's
that.
a line you have to walk real careful sometimes, but
Right. Right.
we make
Exactly.
it work.
Yep. As we do too. It's all about, what everybody's into. And
Yeah.
then Miss Latisha, she she told me when I asked her to come on the show, she said, I don't know a lot about about the cryptid and humanoids. I said, well, aren't you married to Barton Nunley? How can you not
Yeah.
know? You know?
A little bit.
Right. Right.
A little.
So she knows more than she realizes she knows.
Had a couple experiences.
Yeah,
So,
a time or two. So
Oh,
that works. That works. How did you, Marty, did you get into doing this? What did you start out doing?
Well, that's a long story, but my whole life I've always had paranormal,
Mhm.
ET, you name it. I've had all kinds of different types of experiences, and from very young, and I was always into everything
Mhm.
weird. And my kids used to just love to joke and tease me about how mom, they could always find mom watching Ancient Aliens and, all of these really weird shows and Finding Bigfoot and all these things. And I had a very strange encounter back in 1986, and it was a nighttime encounter. And my first husband and we were driving on a levee out in the Everglades in the middle of the night. He used to love to go out there to get, looking for snakes that would come up. They would, come up on the top of the levees to get warm at night. And we were driving down the levee, and we saw something come kind of like up on, up out of the side of the levee to the top. And as it did, it was black. All I can tell you, it was black. And when it stepped into the middle, it was weird because it was like on all fours. And then it stepped into the middle with like one foot, and then it started to stand up, and it just took one step and it was off the other side. But right before it went down the other side of the levee, it just turned and looked at us, and it had these red glowing eyes. And I thought, what was it? Because your mind, when you see these things, your mind just starts going through your mental Rolodex, right?
Right.
You're like, could it be this? Could it have been this? Could it have been that? And you're just going, and I'm going, no, because the eyes were glowing. It was absolutely not eye shine.
Yeah.
And I just looked at my husband, and I'm like, back up, put it in reverse right now, because on the levees down here in Florida, that's it. They're one way. You can't
Right.
turn around until you get all the way to the end. And I was told him, I was like, no, we're not going any further. Back it up, buddy.
Right.
And that kind of really started it for me. That's kind of what got me into cryptids mostly.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. Well, good deal.
Yeah.
Hey, Jessica.
I think for me, if I would have saw something like that, I would have said, what is it? Or do I run? Or what do I do here? That would have been my first thing, is what do I do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep. I hear you.
The only thing that's black like that down here in Florida would have been either a bear or a black panther. Well, a black panther isn't going to stand up like stride, number one. And the area we were at is pretty much all sawgrass, and it's all like swamp and water. There's no bear there. So, I knew that it was something different. I
Mhm.
can't tell you if it was a Sasquatch. I don't know what it was. Honestly, it looked to me like a Sasquatch,
Right.
but I don't know. It was dark. It
Mhm.
was black. All I know is it had red glowing eyes.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's a
Wow.
crazy story.
Mm-mm.
That's a real crazy story. Hey, Jessica.
Hey, everybody. Sorry
Hi,
I'm late.
Jessica.
I'm sorry. I had a live show right before this. So
Yep.
I was, yeah.
And it was
And
great.
thank you, NonnaBoss. Thank you, Marty. I had to, right after it was over, I had to go check on my kid. So
I totally
and then I
understand that.
ran right up. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Totally
So we're
understand
good.
that.
He's good.
We definitely appreciate you coming on here with us tonight too, because I was telling Marty, you know, I don't always catch your guys' live shows because I do subscribe and I go back and I watch the shows after. You know, I'm fortunate. I have a job that I can do that, put the shows on the TV, and everybody else just deals with my weirdness. So. So I
That's a
apologize
little
for not
spoiled,
always
I
being
think.
on the lives, but I do watch them.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
It's
so
the
she
same
gets
with
to
me.
watch y'all on the big screen
Right, right. And actually, sometimes it's nicer
while
than
I'm
being on
huddling and
the
hiding
TV.
my phone doing this.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
exactly.
You know, but she's watching on the big screen. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Loud
So
and proud.
I
like
thought
that.
tonight we'd just talk about a little bit of everything. And just because, you know, there's so many different people I've seen on here in the chat that are kind of into each have their own thing and we'll just go from there. And I know Aaron's big thing is like the metaphysics. So
Mhm.
we can start out with that. You know, I know, you know, several on this panel have abilities and Jessica, do you want to tell us how you started with remote viewing?
Yeah, sure, I can. Well, I actually, it's related to my Bigfoot research.
Wow.
I didn't go looking to be a Bigfoot field researcher. I didn't know what remote viewing was, all that. It just kind
Yeah.
of fell into place for me. I happened to become friends and join a team of some serious Bigfoot field researchers out of North Georgia. And the head of that team is a remote viewer. And when we were having this massive activity like UFOs, portals, Bigfoot, ETs, whatever, out in the field, we had some events that happened where we felt like we were missing time, and there was just some very highly strange events were happening to us.
Wow.
And so he said, well, I think it's time to train the whole team in remote viewing. And so we spent years spending, weekends at a time together, several days at a time as a team together, learning remote viewing. And that was about 11 or 12 years ago. We started doing that. And so we're a team of highly trained, skilled individuals now,
Wow.
not only in Bigfoot, but remote viewing. So
Yeah.
I'm the only one that went public with it and started doing a weird show about it. So
Your shows are awesome.
everybody else thinks I'm crazy, but it's okay. It's
My
my
whole
thing.
family thinks I'm crazy, so it's good.
Oh, everybody thinks
Now,
it, but you know what? Crazy's good at this
Yep,
point.
it is. It
Right.
is.
Now, did anyone on your team have any type of special abilities, like psychic abilities, to learn how to do this, or can anyone learn how to do it?
Well, nothing is a coincidence. And I think that we were all very aware of our psychic abilities. Most of us, not all the guys. Okay. Not everybody, but we all knew that we were a little bit different. I mean, my goodness, we're out there chasing Bigfoot. So we're obviously already different from the get go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
But anybody can do remote viewing. It is a type of psychic. I guess you call it spying. I guess it's just locating targets with your senses. Anybody can do it. Now, can everybody do it? Maybe not be so good at it, but everybody can do it. You can learn it. It's actually a science. It's just like an organized way to locate targets scientifically.
Yeah.
But psychically.
I tried my hand
scientific way
at
to be
it.
psychic. Okay, does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
I tried a little
scientific way to
bit.
be psychic. You did, yes. And Marty, you were on target too. I have a Patreon where I put all of my remote viewing data for all the shows that I do. And I only do that because my channel would get shut down if I put all of my data out there for the public.
Yes.
Because Marty's a member of my Patreon. Thank you so much, Marty.
Sure.
It is really sensitive data, with these like Dogman attacks and Bigfoot attacks and unspecified animal attacks. Like these are fresh homicides basically and stuff. And some of the data is very gruesome.
Yeah.
And I can't just put that out there. It's just not nice to put all that out there. I don't want my channel shut down.
Right. No.
So
yeah, that's understandable. Now Erin is a psychic medium. Now, do either one of you like receive messages like that, like from someone who's passed or anything like that?
Yeah. Marty,
all the time.
You? I do. Yeah.
When do I not?
Yeah.
I don't receive the information in the same kind of way. It doesn't work that way for me. I have a very deep sense of knowing. I will just know something.
Yep.
But I don't actually see spirit or actually hear spirit. But I just have a very good sense of just knowing. And and I read energy.
That's definitely a clair. I mean, that's one of the psychic senses of. I mean, you're a knower. Like you just know how to do something, or you don't necessarily probably have to read instructions to put together a piece of furniture. You kind of just know how it goes together, or when somebody explains a project, you already know how it needs to start, middle, and finish. You've already seen it completely done. That's a knower. My son, my older son, I believe he's more of the knowing. And sometimes those seem to be the ones that doubt their abilities the most because they're just very, Jessica's like nodding her head. She's like, you.
I agree.
Because they are so, they're generally very intelligent people all around. So, they kind of base that off of, well, that's just intelligence. That's just because I know people, it's kind of like the Scorpio trait, I just know what I know and I'm going to be here and I'm going to, envelop it. And that's, tends to be actually a clair as opposed to, it's still a personality, but.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I get messages like from, I can hear things, messages come through. Now, when I'm remote viewing, there's something that I do that's actually part of the remote viewing process where if you pick up on a person in the environment, or even a cryptid in my case, because I do a lot of remote viewing of cryptids, I can do what we call a deep mind probe. And it's when you pick up most of my targets are blind targets. So I don't even know what they are when I just get a set of numbers and a lot of information pours out from those 8 numbers. And so that's how I remote view. But I'll pick up on, I'll detect a person, and a lot of times I'm remote viewing missing people. Okay. And, cold cases and stuff like that. And if I'm seeing and sensing a person, I'll ask them like, where are you? What happened to you? Any kind of questions that I've got, I'll ask and I get the answers, and I'm contacting them, and we're having a dialogue while I'm remote viewing. So it's part of the process of doing that remote viewing.
I would agree.
So it's pretty cool.
I would
when I do remote viewing, I don't necessarily I don't work with cryptids like Jessica does right now, but when I work with people, usually they're family members right there, so I connect with that energy, which then connects me to the spirit, and I allow them to show me what they need to show me. And how I do it is I almost I see above, and it's kind of like Google Earth for me. I just kind of zone in and I get bits and pieces, and it gradually becomes clearer and clearer and clearer till I see almost like, like a map in a sense. And
Yeah.
then I just tend to zone in and I just go deeper and deeper. And then that's when they start to show me if it's, if it's an assault or they're missing or,
Mhm.
a murder of some sort. That's when they start to show me more of the clairvoyant side of things. And that's when I get the video image. Generally, it's not from their perspective. It's usually the third person perspective. But I kind of swap around to different perspectives on that.
And that's the thing too. Like, I think people with abilities and they, not everybody does it the same or feels the same, gets the same, the same thing. And that's a lot of people's misconception. Well, I wanted to talk to my grandma. You didn't pick up my grandma, but you did. And it doesn't work that way,
That's right.
Yeah. And people got to understand that, we do sometimes on this show, we'll do live readings with, Aaron will do them. And then we have a friend of ours, Michael Christopher, he'll come on and do them. And the two of them tag team them, but they get different messages, from some of the same people. So I think it's really cool how all that good stuff works. And Latisha, I know this is about none of this. So, but we will get to Inhumanoids
You're
eventually.
fine. Take your time.
Do Marty or Jessica, do you guys do like the paranormal and do like private cases, or how do you guys do anything with the ghost side of things?
Do you want me to start? I do.
Either one of
I
you.
do all of it. I mean, I pretty much am so busy right now. I'm just doing my shows and stuff. I don't do like private cases or anything like that.
Right.
Unless Barry Littleton hits me up and we do shows about all this weird stuff. But
Yeah.
no, I when I first started learning remote viewing, I was tasked a lot of like missing persons cases and stuff and cold cases. But no, it's very draining actually to do remote viewing. And as much as I do it right now, I don't have a lot of time to do like extra stuff. And
Yep,
so but I can, but I just have not had time to do that. I don't do it privately or anything like that. What you see is what you get. I put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Marty?
No, I don't do any private cases.
No.
I research with my son and we do all kinds of weird things, investigations and experiments and all kinds of weird things we do.
Yeah.
I mean, we're always trying to summon UFOs and, entities and
Right. I hear you.
yeah, we're always doing something crazy, but and I love to be out and love to just, I love to go hiking. I mean, we don't, when we go out, we're doing cryptid research. It's not like we're out knocking on trees and
Right.
whooping and we're not doing that. I mean,
Right.
my grandchildren do. They love to have fun
Right.
with it. He does family hike days and things like that. But we're not doing that. We're more along the lines of we know that we're connecting with them. We set an intention before we go. The last time I set an intention before I went into the woods with Jessica, I ended up having all kinds of things happen. But
well, I took you to a really highly active spot. So we were bound to have activity out there.
Yeah.
Can you guys tell us about that?
What are you gonna tell you, Marty? You want to tell him?
Want to go?
Hey, this is not a woo night, but we're willing to go woo. So
well, it was a Sasquatch UFO kind of stuff. I do a lot of research, field research, and so Marty and Matt came to Georgia, and we have a lot of places that we go out and do Bigfooting up in North Georgia, and we went to one really particularly active spot. I took them to undisclosed location, of course, and we ended up I was not surprised that we had so much activity up there, but it was a lot. It was a lot. Marty, do you want to tell them about it?
Yeah,
tell them from your viewpoint, because I was kind of used to the activity, but it was definitely Sasquatch for sure.
The whole experience was very surreal. I mean, when we got to the top of this mountain, that took us, almost 40 minutes to get to the top of the mountain. The road was one lane and it was tight and a lot of just, my car was like bottoming out. I mean, it was just so many hills, and it took us like almost 40 minutes to get there. And we finally get to the top, and then there's like, this field kind of area. And I mean, Jess jumped out, she jumped out of the truck, and Matt jumped out, and I'm last to get out. I'm like fiddling around. And it was like, I opened my door, and the second that my feet hit the ground, I thought I was going to throw up. I was so nauseous. It was like and the only way I can describe it is like this vortex of energy I just started, because I'm super sensitive to energy. So
Yeah.
I just started getting like dizzy and nauseous. And so I went to sit down. Matt got me my chair. I sat down, and then it was like, it was on from there. It was just on. I knew I could feel that I can feel when Sasquatch are around. There's certain things that happens, I physically know that they're there. I'm able to kind of like pinpoint where and located near me where they are by feeling their energies. So I knew where they were, and I knew how many there were, and I knew that they were not happy. They were not angry or aggressive, but they were very agitated, and they were basically like, who are you and what are you doing here? And that,
Right.
because they didn't know me and Matt. So, they were not happy at first. So I just kind of was literally trying to focus on them, trying to just let them know we're not here to, to harm you. We're here with respect. We're here to learn, that kind of thing. They started to calm down. And then two of them started kind of moving their positions. They were moving. And then I have my eyes closed. So I kind of missed, and I was focusing on them and trying to communicate with them. They were hearing me, but they weren't communicating back to me. A lot of times that happens. Most of the times that happens, they'll communicate with me after I leave the location. That's when they'll start literally giving me giving me things.
Right.
And so it was so strange, because all of a sudden Matt and Jessica, like, they saw orbs. They heard a huff. I missed all of it because I was sitting there trying to calm these guys down and be like, look, we're just here to learn, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we were there, just maybe 15, 20 minutes top.
We were there for a little while. Yeah. When we started getting all the energy it is like a vortex up there. And, and we've had a lot of UFO activity, a lot of Bigfoot activity, you name it. We have it up there. And as soon as, we started feeling, there was definitely a presence up there. And then I saw an orange light. It was like an orange orb in the tree line. And right as I saw it, it moved. And Matt had seen the same type of orb, it was orange. I don't usually see orange orbs up there. Usually they're white or red or another color. And so Matt saw an orange orb across the way from where we were. I saw the one right where the huff came from. Immediately when I saw the light, we heard this. It was like a grunt and a huff at the same time, and it was almost immediate. It started pouring down rain out of nowhere.
Wow.
It just started dumping rain on us. Nowhere. We could hear it coming up the road, and then it hit us, and so it forced us to jump in the car, load up our stuff, and it was raining so hard we thought, well, maybe the road might wash out, so we need to leave. And we got down the mountain. It literally took us like 10 minutes to get down the mountain, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it was. We had missing time. Yeah,
we definitely had some missing time. Yeah.
Wow.
We had something.
Time and. And as we were kind of coming down the mountain, we had just left, and we started the descent down. And as I turned a corner, my headlights kind of kind of like sweeped around, and Matt and I, because we were in the front seat and Jess was in the back, and at the same time I was like, what is that? And Matt's like, I don't know, what was that? And I'm like, I don't know. And it was just this huge shadow. It was this gigantic shadow. I mean, like 8-9 feet, but it wasn't a Sasquatch, because like I said, I can feel their energy, so I knew it wasn't a Sasquatch. And it was kind of like about 2 or 3 minutes of a conversation between him and I, going, well, I don't understand. What was it? And then I'm driving, and the next thing I'm starting to panic, because I was kind of like, I was getting scared. I was like, I don't know what the heck that thing was. And Matt goes, it's okay. We're down. We're done. We're at the end. We're right here. We're at the end. And I'm like, what? Because I'm driving. So I'm like, wait. What do you mean we're at the end? And then I turn my head from him. I look at, and I'm like, oh my God, we're off the mountain. And I said, no way, we can't be off the mountain. It took us 40 minutes to get up there. It's only been 10 minutes.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I have a question. So do you think that the different color orbs mean different things?
Perhaps. Yeah. I don't know. I've experienced so many different types of orbs and so many different colors. We're still trying to figure out orbs. I mean, it's almost on it's a regular basis. When we're out there, we experience big orbs, small orbs that are transparent, orbs that will float into our tent at night and check us out and then float out. And we'll pick them up on our FLIRs. And, we set up cameras in our base camp sometimes while we're sleeping. And you'll see them floating around. Some of them have faces, like human looking faces in them. We just don't know. I mean, I saw an orb one night that showed up, just appeared over the tree line, in a field where I was kind of set up one night. We go out and we have so many of us on my team that we disperse into teams, and we go out. We never go alone. We always have at least one person with us where we go. And this gigantic orb, it looked like the moon. Okay. It literally looked like the moon just showed up out of nowhere over a tree line, and it slowly descended, like went behind the trees, almost like a flare gun had been shot, and just kind of went down. It was odd. I mean, we have so many different types of orbs. I can't tell you.
I guess so. Here a few weeks ago, we went to the Land Between the Lakes.
Yes.
With Latisha and Barton and Daryl Denton. There was several others with us that don't want us to say that they were there. So anyway, but I was always anonymous. I started coming around to the woo side, because I've heard so many credible people talk about, like mind speaking and seeing the orbs and getting zapped and, things like that. And where I was, just a little over a year ago, I was strictly flesh and blood. However, when we went to the Land Between the Lakes, we seen these beings. And by the way, Jessica, I watched your show when you remote viewed Land Between the Lakes, and that kept going through my mind all night long. But you will
not catch me in the Land Between the Lakes. I can tell you that, ladies. I will not.
I would be heavily armed if I was in the Land Between the Lakes. Yes.
I won't go there.
Yeah. Well, we that night we were seeing like these. I can't tell you if it was Bigfoot, Dogman, ghost. I have no idea what it was. However, we were seeing these creatures peek out from trees is how it started. And this was right as it was dark. And not just one of us or not just two of us, but we were all seeing this. Wow. And then throughout the night, we were seeing orbs, several of us at a time. Like Brandy seen some white ones. Actually, Barton got on video some white orbs when he interviewed Martin Groves there that night, and he captured that. I actually seen a reddish orangish orb, me and another guy, and but it was the size of like a beach ball. It was the weirdest thing. Yeah. And then we could hear things all around us, and then several people heard whistles. I mean, it was just the craziest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, sure. The whistles were strange. The whistles were, I would say, one of the weirdest noises I heard that night.
Yeah.
The weirdest part for me was Bart and I have been going to the Land Between the Lakes since like 2009, just me and him out researching, and we've never had anything happen. And then we go up there with this group and everything happens. every time it happens, I see orbs that I've never seen orbs before, but I seen a white orb walking up the hill towards me, and I'm screaming, telling everybody to look, and everybody's talking, and I finally get Bart to come over there, and we get our flashlights and we start looking for anything that could have possibly caused it, and there was nothing. Everybody that was with us there was accounted for, and so I still don't know what it was, and I don't know what was creeping up behind me, but we had something creeping up behind me while Bart was filming. So
Yeah.
interesting night. And the whistle, Bart had on 2 hats and he still heard it. So I don't know. That was creepy.
I have
You know what
people, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I've actually heard a couple of people recently with a little bit of a different theory that I've thought of before. They kind of thinking maybe that it's more the orbs are maybe a form of communication between between entities, whether it's cryptids or whatever. But I kind of heard that theory about a month or so ago, and the first person I heard it who said it is a psychic medium, and she said that was her impression. Her impression is that the orbs were a communication. And I don't know why, but that kind of resonated with me a little bit. So I think some of them are a communication, but then there's others that I do believe that are just spirit, that are, you know, spirit communicating with us or being around us or transportation for them of some sort. But I don't know.
You know, and I'm
experiencing like Jessica does. I
was gonna say, and almost all of my videos that I do too. You know, I like to put videos on YouTube like every day. Okay, I got some kind of video on there, and there'll be orbs dancing around my head and like coming out of my neck and like in my face. And I mean, during my live streams, my live remote viewing show or like my show on whenever, I'll have orbs dancing in front of my computer screen for the whole world to see. And so I can't tell you what those are. I have no idea. I don't know, but it's very odd. But I also know some people say that they believe that those orbs are actually like the energy, like I think they call it non-corporeal is what Barry Littleton calls it. Okay. It's like the non-corporeal, like it's like the energy of the being, and then it manifests into like a 3D being. Okay. And so that's like the huff that we heard was like the orb, and then was the huff the orb, or did it turn into a Bigfoot? I don't know. You know, it's weird, right?
And our entire weekend, we had no idea until we had taken a few selfies on the very last day. We had taken some selfies of the 3 of us.
Yes.
And Matt posted, you know, some pictures, and someone recognized there was a portal right behind our heads. It was across the street from where we were camping the entire weekend. And Matt kept saying, he kept looking over there the whole weekend, and he would say, I keep seeing things like darting at like through the woods. And then I kept seeing Jessica constantly looking over there, and she's like, I'm feeling
something back there.
Yeah, it was weird. And we didn't even notice this thing. I mean, it looks like a perfect circle right behind our heads in this photo. It's crazy.
It's just off. It's just like a circle in the atmosphere, which, if that makes sense, it's like the Predator or something, like what that would look like.
Like heat waves. So I can't remember, Brandy, did anybody see the orbs before you brought out the singing bowl, or was that after you brought that up?
No, I've seen mine before. You hadn't brought out the singing bowl yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. It was daytime when I brought out the singing bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was, I had the singing bowl out. We were playing with it on the table in the daytime. And then as it started getting dark, that's when Barton started doing his interview. So we all got real quiet, and that's when everything went haywire.
Yeah. Absolutely haywire. Yeah.
You know, if I can, you know, what I've noticed during our research out in the field, you know, Latisha, you mentioned that you didn't have all that much as much activity as you did with the ladies there with you guys. A lot of times there are certain people that are on like a frequency that just bring the high strangeness with them. And so that's like my team always joked around, like some of the guys would be like, well, Jessica's going, I'm going, because there's going to be a lot of activity this weekend, because it's like, I'm like a walking like magnet to like the really weird stuff. And it's just, I say it's not my fault. I don't know what it is, but there's just certain people that will go out in the field. And like, if we don't have a lot of activity, sometimes there's certain people that will show up and they're like a magnet to it. And it's almost like a beacon of light or something. I don't know what it is, but it's like that frequency.
Same thing happens to Matt and I as well. Like I have never gone anywhere yet where we had nothing happen. There was always something happen. Every time.
Well, I know that night we pulled up, and as soon as we pulled into the park where it says Land Between the Lakes, Brandy and Krista both started having their eyes water, and they could just feel energy. So I think they helped out for sure.
It was just a weird, that whole place just has a weird ass vibe. I'm telling you.
It was almost like we were crying because I kept wiping my eyes, and I'm like,
we're looking at each other like, what the heck is going on with this?
What's going on?
Jessica and I had, after we got off the mountain that night, I started having a horrible pain in my head, and I was still feeling sick and nauseous. Jessica started having the exact same place, same pain. I mean, it was we were both experiencing a lot of like physical effects after being there.
It was the craziest thing, just because we do the ghost thing. That's what we've been doing for years, and I can always feel when a ghost and stuff is around, but my eyes don't water with ghosts. And seriously, like, it was the craziest thing, because both of us were looking at each other and we got tears going down our face, and like, this is stupid.
As soon as I walked up to your car, you was crying.
I was, and then I had a headache.
And then it was funny because Erin had told me the night or two before. She said, well, whatever you do, she said, you're going to get a headache, so take some ibuprofen with you. Well, it wasn't me that got the headache, it was Brandy.
I remember that.
So that was kind of some weirdness, so you guys should really think about going to the LBL sometime.
You should.
I'm there. I need to make a trip up there sometime soon. I'm totally down.
Or at least right now it's not. I'm not feeling like the LBL resonates for me right now. maybe another time.
Like I said, I'm not ready. Gonna lie. When I was there, I kept thinking about Jessica's show when she promoted Feud, and then I'm kind of like,
I'd rather be in the swamps, right? I'd rather be down here in the swamps with the snakes and the alligators I'll stay in my swamps.
I gotta try everything at least once. I gotta go up there. I know I got some good tour guides. I know I've got some friends up there. So
you can go with us, Jessica.
Yes, thank you. And Latisha and Barton too. I know Barton's got all his blades. He'll protect us.
Absolutely.
Right.
Daryl goes, and there's a few others, that go.
Yes, so absolutely. I know the crowd. I'm excited. I'm gonna plan a trip up there soon.
So if you give in and go to the LBL with us, I will give in and go on one ghost hunt.
There you go. She's not a ghost person.
I am scared of ghosts.
Oh no!
Yeah. I don't think I want to mess with those.
Just Dog Man.
Right? Just Dog Man. I'll take Dog Man over a ghost any day.
Well, Erin, we're gonna go again back to the LBL. We're planning a trip, and Erin's gonna try to make this one with us. And she and I have talked about, like, maybe, people with abilities. I personally have no idea how to remote view, but, like something like she's never tried to remote view, like the cryptid side of it. So I think that would be, I don't know if it'd be a good thing or a bad thing to just try to remote view the LBL without, but Erin.
Well, my advice is, my advice would be, Erin, to just set your intention that you want to connect, with them, and make sure when you do go. Yes, I do kind of like talk to them in my head, but Matt and I also literally physically will be like, hi, I'm Marty and this is Matt and
Right.
we're
Right.
here. We don't mean you any harm. We don't mean any
Right.
disrespect. We're just here for learning, higher learning, you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
and we just kind of literally approach it that way. And
Mhm.
then we go. We just start hiking and we start walking and we just start going and we just kind of go where we feel led, you
Right.
know, and take your
It
dowsing
seems
rod.
like it's just a lot like what, like kind of what I would do in any other,
Mhm.
any other walkthrough or
Exactly.
investigation or anything like that.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
lightly remote view the LBL, but I was very, I don't know the word for it. I didn't dig too deep. I kept it very surface,
Mhm.
just because for myself, yes, I have my guides and whatnot that I asked to, kind of be around me and but I'm very hesitant when I venture into things that I don't understand or I don't know,
Mhm.
just because I've come into contact with a lot of nasty entities. And
Mhm.
so I tend to always kind of put my foot forward um, with a lot of respect for
Yeah.
what I'm doing and what that might be. So,
Well, another way you can connect with them as well is, or at least for me, it works. Um, they will communicate with me also through dowsing rods.
mhm.
The Sasquatch have, and also I've had some success with my guides and my guardians, kind of being the intermediary between the Sasquatch and myself. And they will tell my guides and guardians things and then answer through the dowsing rods. We've
Mhm.
had success with that.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's something you can try as well. If you don't feel comfortable trying to connect with them directly, maybe use your guards and your guardians and your guides and try the
Right.
dowsing rod.
Right.
Makes total
Yeah.
sense. When we went to the LBL that night, as everybody knows, we're ghost hunters. So we took some paranormal equipment. We took a nano cam that was made by our friend Katie Stafford, and it's just like a ghost box, is what it is. And we're sitting there in the middle of the LBL. Well, then we start hearing names who were standing around the fire, including my own name and Latisha. That kind of freaked you out because
Yeah.
your name came out of that, and
Wow.
so it was just weird though, because I can not usually always tell when there's a ghost around, as you leave. So you just get that feeling, you just know.
Mhm.
And I wasn't picking up on ghosts though. That was what's weird about that, but then
Sounds like you're able to like me read an energy, and
yeah,
it's very, very important because when you are out there doing that research, Krista, start trying to identify the energies around you, even
mhm,
if it's just with other people, other humans that are there with you, because
yeah,
it does help you learn the different energies. Like the
mhm,
night that we were with Jessica on the mountain, there was an energy that came in between the three of us.
yeah,
And that energy, I had never felt anything like it before. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it wasn't
mhm,
human, it wasn't Sasquatch, it wasn't anything that I recognized in any way. It was
right,
absolutely neutral. It
yeah,
wasn't it didn't mean harm, but it wasn't there for good either. It was just this neutral kind of like thing there, and it's
yeah,
always good to be able to kind of do that and be able to read that energy and pick
mhm,
up on something that's around you that's not doesn't have good intentions. If it has
right,
doesn't have good intentions. So that's a really, really,
mhm,
that's an ability. So
yeah,
start working on that. Start
yeah.
working on that.
Yeah, for sure. I just, like I said, I've done ghosts for so many years. And then when I had my first Bigfoot encounter, I didn't see it. It was just this
Felt it.
weirdness. I felt it like
Mhm.
it was not right. And I
Mhm.
didn't even know it was a Bigfoot encounter until 6 months
Mhm.
later. Another friend of ours, a psychic medium, she just, I didn't
How
post on
did you
Facebook. I didn't talk
how
about
did
it.
you feel? So when you felt that
Mhm.
energy, how did it make you feel physically? How did it make you feel?
Physically, I was scared, and ghosts don't scare me. So I knew it was not ghosts. It scared me, physically scared me, to the point that I even went in, and a friend of mine was sleeping on the couch in the camper. And I was like, you got to come out here. And she felt it.
So was it anxiety or fear?
It was fear. It was definite fear. Because it just wasn't what I was used to, wasn't normal. And then on top of it, I have a big old 200-pound dog that loves everybody. And I had never, ever heard that dog growl until that night. And he was growling at that same area. And then, like I said, I didn't even know it was that kind of an encounter until a friend of ours who just brought it up. She's like, I want you to tell me what happened over there. And I see it was a camper, but it wasn't this camper. I mean, she described the whole night. And I'm like, yeah, so kind of freaking me out. And then she said, you had a Bigfoot. It was a Bigfoot there. So then fast forward a year past that, last year, we had a fall into the supernatural. And D.A. Roberts came and did the Bigfoot part of it. Well, we're sitting around a campfire, and there was all of us were there. There was probably 30 people or so sitting out there. And I was sitting next to DA's wife, and we had something thrown that was tossed in the middle of the both of us.
We've had that happen, huh, Jess?
I mean, I've never had that happen before, and it's the same area where I had that first encounter. So it was pretty crazy. And then leaving there, DA seen this, and his family and kids, he had his kids with him. They seen he thinks it's possibly a dog man, which is probably less than half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, maybe away from where we were. So that's interesting, but I've never seen one with my eyes, unless I can count the LBL, seeing something peek out of trees, but I couldn't tell what it was for sure.
Right.
Yeah. So it was just crazy stuff, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
Crazy
Krista,
enough.
we're almost at the break time mark.
Yeah, we are. So we are going to have to take a 5-minute break, guys. And we will be back in 5 minutes. We do have a lot of questions too. We'll continue this conversation, but I have questions too. I've been starring. So guys, I haven't been ignoring you. We'll go back to the questions after and get them all answered. And we will go to break, and we will be back in just 5 minutes. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Four minutes to go, folks. 4 minutes. Three minutes. We're almost there. 2-minute warning, guys. 2-minute warning. One minute. 1 minute.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for staying with us. We appreciate it.
Hello.
Definitely.
Can you fix that comment I accidentally deleted of Christy Crawford's? I don't even know how I did it.
I have no idea how to fix it.
We're sorry, Christy. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to put it back.
I have no idea how I even did it. So, I'm so sorry, Christy.
That's okay. No problem. If it was a question, Christy, go ahead and re-ask it, and then I'll put you in there with the list of questions for at the end. So
I do have to say goodnight to all of you guys. I have horses, dogs, goats, a baby mini donkey, and myself to take care of this evening. I have too many things that are living that I have to be in charge of. And now a cat. I have a cat I have to take care of.
Yeah, by the way, how's the cat doing?
He's good. He definitely loves Colin. That is for sure.
Yeah. She adopted my ex-grand cat on Sunday night. My daughter had to get rid of it.
Yes. So he's still getting used to the house. So he's been quarantined to certain areas, and Colin's not here right now, which I got to go get him as well. So, so the cat's not happy.
Gotcha.
Nice meeting you, Erin.
It was wonderful to meet all of you guys.
Hi,
and
Erin.
to see you again, Jessica.
Thank you. You too.
Yes. And you guys have a wonderful evening. And thank you to everybody who came on and said hello. And I hope everybody has a blessed week and a healthy week. And I'm sending health to you, Brandy. That's for you. And all of you have a wonderful night. And thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya. My daughter, she's gonna have a baby, and she had 2 cats, and one of them was he's just super friendly, but he jumps on you, and he's a Maine Coon mix.
Oh, he's big then.
Big cat. So she's afraid with the new baby, so she wanted to find him a good home, and Erin adopted him. So anyway, it's a happy ending. It's a happy ending. All right, let's get back into this Inhumanoid talk, because I think what you guys, the 2 of you guys went and did together is what we do, what we did. And I'm impressed, like how many women, I didn't realize how many women actually get out in the field and do boots to the ground research. And I appreciate you both because you both get out there and you do that, you know?
I'm
Yeah,
going
there's
this
not enough
weekend.
recognition out there.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going this weekend, thank goodness, because it's been too long for me. I haven't been out in a little bit, so
Yeah. How often do you get to go?
I would go every day if I could.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But yeah, I mean, I really, really try to get out at least a couple times a month, and even if
Yeah.
it's just for a day. But it's kind of, I'm in South Florida, so I have to do a lot of traveling to kind of be
Sure.
where I need to be. So it's not as easy as I would like it to be. But yeah, I get out as much as I can.
Yeah. Good deal. Jessica, how often do you get to get out?
Yeah. I get out pretty often. I'm a part of 3 actual teams, and
Wow.
and we all but we all go out together a lot. And yeah, whenever the weather's really hot or rainy, we usually get out.
Right.
Whenever,
Right. Of
whenever
course.
the weather conditions are horrible, they usually plan a trip, and so we
Right.
usually get out. I'm
Right.
kind of kidding, but I'm not. So but see, the thing about it is we have to plan ahead a lot of times, and so we don't know what the weather's going to be because there's a lot of us, and we're from all over the South,
Yeah.
and but yeah, we get out often now. I'm not going to say we get out like every weekend or anything. And now that
Right.
I've got my shows at Space Out Radio every weekend, it's hard for me to get out
Sure.
because a lot of the guys like to go on the weekends.
Yeah.
So I'll go like Thursday, Friday or something, and I'll miss Saturday and Saturday night. And that's usually the night when all the good stuff happens,
Right.
But
Right.
but yeah, I get out pretty as often as I can. Every time the team goes out, I'm usually there.
Good
So
deal. Good
uh,
deal.
at least monthly. We try to get out monthly.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah. That was us. Letitia, how often you and Barton go out?
Well, we did go out a lot more before we had started having the grandkids every weekend, but about once a month or so, we'll get out and do something. We're in the creeks more than we are Bigfoot hunting anymore.
Mhm.
So we love to arrowhead hunt, artifact hunt. So we get
Yes.
out there when we can.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. I know you were talking about, perfect weather conditions. When we went to the LBL, it was colder than shit. I gotta
Yeah.
say, we like they made a fire. We had the fire going, and they were super nice. They like heated us rocks, for our feet and everything. They made it as comfortable as can be, but it was still cold. By the time we hit Brandy's car, we were done.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you my secret weapon when it
Yeah.
comes to cold weather? Because listen, we have camped out in like 20-degree weather pretty often. Hand warmers, those things you put in your pockets.
Yeah.
Y'all just stock up on as many hand warmers as you can. Get the kinds that are like the big ones. Put them in your sleeping bag. Put them in your shoes. Put them in your pockets. Put them in your clothes. Like get the sticky ones and stick them to your body. Like seriously, those are lifesavers. Every time I'm out there, especially when it's time to go to bed at night, I stick them down the bottom of my sleeping bag, and I am good to go. Okay,
Really?
so that's my secret weapon. Not so secret now.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look into some of them.
Get the sticky ones, okay, and the shoe ones.
Oh yeah. If
And
my
here's
feet
a
cold, I'm
warning alert, ladies, if you do decide to go to the LBL, do not go in the summertime.
Okay.
Do not.
Because
You will not
the
be able to
mosquitoes.
fight the ticks off.
Yeah, the bugs. I figured the mosquitoes.
It's the seed ticks that get on you, and no matter what you put on, they don't care. They eat right through it.
Oh.
So the last time I went, I had over 500 seed ticks on me.
Yeah.
So don't go in the summertime.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just went, and it was, 20 degrees out there, Krista, Randy?
It was cold.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And Bart had 2 that we found on him, and Daryl had 3 on him, and it's 20 degrees outside. So
what? That's crazy.
Yeah.
In the
I'm
wintertime.
telling you, things are not right at the LBL. Just
That's a little
saying.
that is weird.
But I
That's
went
so
a few weeks ago, about I think 3 weeks now it's been, and we were in the Panhandle. We were up in we went to Torrey State Park, and we went out with Stacy Brown, and he took us to where he filmed his dad filmed the famous thermal footage. And so when we went and did that hike, And Matt and I literally got in the car, and then we were, 7 hours coming back to South Florida, and I'm driving, I'm on the highway, and I don't fear anything except spiders.
Yeah.
That's the only thing spiders are not my thing. And I'm driving, and all of a sudden I was like, what is it? And I'm like, ah! I was like screaming in the car. I'm like, Matt, I don't even know what it is. Take it, take it, take it. And I'm just like, and he's like, oh my God, it was a tick. And I was like freaking out the whole way home because I'm like, oh my God, I probably have more. Oh my God. I cannot do spiders. That's the only weird thing. I could take anything else but that.
You got to do a tick check too. When you get out, you get out of the woods, the best thing in the world is to take that shower and to check for ticks. You got to check for ticks. Not that that's the best thing, but just that shower after you've been in the woods for a few days, check for ticks. That's a big thing.
And marks are missing time.
Missing time. Ticks are missing time.
Jessica, we checked for ticks, and I took a shower, and we found some, and I shaved my legs again. Took another shower, shaved my legs, altogether 4 showers, and shaved 3 times. And Bart was still picking ticks off of me for 8 hours.
How many times do you have to shave your legs, Latisha?
Oh my goodness!
I was going to say,
I was just trying to shave the ticks off. It was ridiculous how many were on me.
That is so funny.
I had to walk through a nest of them, but everybody had them that day. I mean, I had scars for months and months from those things.
Oh my God.
It was horrible. It was
absolutely scary.
Like I said, the LBL is not right, even with like the known creatures out there.
they may actually be the creatures we're looking for, and we just don't know it.
No, maybe so.
They're evil.
Who'd have thunk it?
Evil, nasty creatures.
Right. Even
that, Jessica?
I could. I could. The infamous ticks, the tick infestation at the LBL.
Well,
I'll make a show about it.
Hellbent Holler says, never seen ticks anywhere like the LBL.
Yes, Jessie got attacked kind of like I did.
Yeah.
LBL.
Wow.
She had a ticks too. I think Joe may have, but wow, it's horrible. So keep it as cold as possible, ladies, if you go.
Yeah, for sure. Gary says, Sawyer's insect repellent on your clothes.
So I'll have to remember that.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down right now. I'll remember that.
You write down everything.
Sawyer's. I'm writing it down too.
Yeah. Latisha was telling me, she goes, Brandy, you better check for ticks. And I said, I've already taken a mirror and bent as far over as I could possibly get. I can't check anymore.
You checked all the cracks, huh? All the cracks and crevices.
It was crazy. Mine were mostly on my ankles.
Well, I know next time I will be spraying some tick spray.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So and these are feed ticks, so you can't really see them. They're so tiny. All you can do is feel them crawling, and then whenever you look for them on your skin, you can't really see them unless they move a little bit.
Yeah.
So Bart's just sitting there, and he has his tweezers, and he'd look at a place. It's just a little mole or a little speck, and then he would see it move a little bit, and he'd pluck it off, and it was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's awful.
Never
stuff. Have you guys, there's been like reports of like, I know whenever like Sasquatch are around, people say, like they look up in the sky and there's UFO type stuff. Have you guys experienced that as well?
Yes.
Yeah, right off the bat. That was actually the first time I ever went Bigfooting with the team before I was a member of their team.
Me too.
I had UFOs flying overhead the entire time I was there. Every night there was UFO activity. Not only UFO activity, but the orbs. Like you could consider orbs to be ET or UFOs, honestly, in some cases. Like I said, we don't know what orbs are, right? But we had actual UFOs. And that's part of the reason my team we ended up being trained in remote viewing is because one of my research partners and I had been out in the field and had an up close and personal encounter with a UFO that was low flying over our heads. And so that's when we had our missing time and our equipment malfunction. And so that's why the head of our team was like, all right, we're training in remote viewing now, because you guys, we need to be able, everybody needs to be able to look into all these weird phenomena that are happening out in the field. And so that's how we started training. But for that, but yeah, it's common. I mean, and now we go out to this place we call the Meadow with another team that I'm on, and it's the infamous Meadow where we had the portal and we have ET activity and Bigfoot and all that stuff. There's UFOs out there. I mean, we've had light beings, we've had all sorts of weird stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all, it goes hand in hand. All of this does. It's all connected.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, had I thought about it when we were at the LBL to look up, but I didn't. You know, I was too busy looking around because, you know, we were hearing things and seeing things on the ground. I didn't even think about looking up, you know, but next time I will.
Yeah.
Always look up.
Always look up.
There's even in
Always.
Always look up. That's a big
Always
thing.
look up.
And I didn't.
Dogmen up in the trees too.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Well, it was, like I said, it was really, you know, it was mine and Brandy's first time of ever, you know, doing anything like that. So, you know, I was kind of freaked out hearing all this stuff. And once again, your remote viewing was in the back of my mind, you know, that, you know, these crazy dogmen are out there. And is this a dogman? Is this a ghost? Is this a, you know, Bigfoot? What are we looking at here? What do we got going on? So it was pretty intense.
But they didn't, you know, but you have to look at it like this. Even though you guys saw, you know, had all this activity, saw these things, orbs, all these things happening, they didn't hurt you.
Right.
They're not, do you know what I mean? Like, I have never felt fear. I've never really felt fear. Anxiety, I felt their anxiety. That's why I was asking you earlier whether it was fear or anxiety, because it's kind of like, that's how I know that they're there, is I feel, and I know it isn't my anxiety.
Yeah.
So I can feel like I get a pressure, almost as if something is like sitting on my chest. And when I get that feeling, I know that they're there. I know that they're around, but I have, you know, I don't know. We've never had any issues and ever felt threatened or in harm's way or anything like that. I'm not saying that they can't hurt you. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, we have never experienced any fear.
Yeah.
You know?
And I guess too, you know, maybe like we had, how many people there that night? There was 11 or 12 of us there. You know, so,
I think it was 10.
And I'm sure they know you were armed, because I guarantee you all were. Saying, you know, when you have a lot of people there, you know, you have weapons there, you know that you're safe. Just let them be around you. They're not, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of one of the things that we do too, is we'll just sit. We'll sit around the campfire and just let them do their thing. And they'll, you know, you'll hear movement. You're going to hear this. You're going to hear that. They may throw a few rocks at you. Just don't move. Don't react. Because that's what they, in my mind, I always think that. That's how it makes me think, that they want to see your reaction. Sometimes maybe it's to test your resolve, to see if they can scare you, or just to see what your reaction is going to be. Because they're curious about us, you know. Most times I think that's what it is. It's a curiosity thing with them. Yeah,
and that makes total sense, you know.
Except when one's creeping up behind you and you have to move, like I did.
What was that? You cut out, Latisha.
I said, except for when one's creeping up behind you and you can't see it, then you might want to move. I had to. I don't usually get too freaked out. I'm the one that'll go chase after something. But when I was sitting around the campfire that night and I heard, which everybody was seeing at the same spot, and then I heard something creeping up behind me, I was like, no, not to my back. Nothing's coming up on my back.
There were no animals as far as I could see.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, so there isn't any leaves on the trees or anything right now. And when we would shine a light, you know, there was nothing there. We didn't see anything, you know, not a squirrel, not anything, you know, that, you know, because a squirrel sounds pretty heavy out in the woods, you know, but nothing.
So I wonder if it's possible that this may sound crazy. I don't know. Is it possible that the orbs themselves are portals? I mean, could it possibly be?
Anything's possible. But yeah.
I don't know.
Anything like
I've never seen anything pop out of an orb, but that don't mean it's not happening. I don't know. So
yeah, I don't know. You know, I mean, we've experienced portals. Like my team has actually documented what we consider to be a portal out there on film, like on camera or video. I guess you call it video. I don't know if we call it film these days. You know, we documented it. We sent people into it. They came back out. They talked about it, and it wasn't an orb. I don't know. Maybe a portal could be an orb. I have a portal, or it could be a portal. I don't know. The thing that we saw was actually shaped like a cube or like a box, and that's what showed up on the film, on the thermal. So, you know, but orbs could be. I mean, if Bigfoot is an orb and then turns into a Bigfoot and then turns back into an orb, I mean,
I
don't. None of this makes sense. Okay.
Right.
that's possible.
Yeah.
That's how
Do you think we'll ever know? Do you think we'll ever know?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Listen, my team personally, we're out there, boots on the ground all the time. Those guys are always out there. I'm out there with them. We're not to say we'll ever. I don't know if we'll ever get to the bottom of it, but at least we're getting the evidence. We're experiencing it. We're getting stuff that I don't know of any other team that's ever documented a portal before.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if we're able to get that kind of stuff, there's no telling. I mean, we're still young. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still getting out there. You know, we're going to keep on doing this and doing our research till we don't anymore, until I'm not here.
So
so hopefully
the portal that you encountered where you and Marty went, is it something you think that just anything and everything can come through, as in, you know, like Bigfoot, UFO type thing, and even like ghosts, demons type thing, that they all use the same portal?
I think it's an interdimensional portal, and I think that beings use it. Now, beings could be anything.
It depends on what dimension they're on and where they're coming from. Yeah. There's layers to this.
Yeah,
I think
there are.
Now, do I know for sure? No.
Yeah.
But do I think so? Yes. I think there's layers to it. And so I think that we're all vibrating on different vibrational frequencies. And, you know, it's just higher vibrational frequencies could be seen as like ETs, you know, lower vibrational frequencies could be considered ghosts, you know, demons, whatever you want to call it. I mean, and that's something else. Like, it's all about your perception. Some people think that aliens are demons. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Right.
There's a lot more that we need to figure out.
Yeah.
But I try not to label things. I know I'm labeling things tonight, talking about all this stuff, but as a remote viewer, we're taught not to label anything, you know, especially when we're remote viewing, because we don't, what our mind is perceiving as something, it may not be what that actually is, because we only can perceive something as to like the extent as what we already know. If that makes sense. I don't know. It may not be making sense right now, but we only can, like when I was a kid, I used to see ghosts, right? And they would talk to me telepathically, right? And their mouths would not move. And that was very prominent. Like, I remember their mouths not moving. Okay. Well, as I got older, I was having up close and personal contact with extraterrestrials in my room, like my bedroom, like I did when I was a kid, and they were talking to me, but their mouths weren't moving. So that makes me question, like, well, was that a screen memory when I was a kid? Were those actually ETs? But I was perceiving them as ghosts because that's all I knew. You know, I only knew ghost stories. I didn't know about aliens. That was not even in my train of like my thoughts. I never thought of that. So we don't know.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Marty, I seen on your show the other night, or I might have been a past one I watched, but it was one of your shows. You used the bowl, and you said, you know, about it attracts them.
The singing bowls do.
Oh,
yes.
So we tried that too at the LBL. Can you tell me like more about your experiences with them and with using it?
All I can tell you is that there's something about again, like Jessica talked about, it's that frequency. It's singing bowls and native drumming, it creates a frequency, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I don't know exactly how it works, all I know is that frequency seems to attract activity. Now, not just Sasquatch activity, though. I will tell you, in our experience, I mean, some of the other things that have happened to us have been kind of like ET, UFO kind of related, with using the singing bowl. One of the things that I kind of been trying to kind of do lately is using the native drumming to astral travel. So I've kind of been trying to work on that.
Right.
I'm still not having great success, but someone told me to give it a try, and I've kind of gotten closer using that and with that method than anything else. So I think it's just maybe it's going to take me some practice to do it, or just to keep trying at least.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of these things have to do with vibration and raising the vibration in the area, so they're attracted or more, I don't want to say stirred up. I really don't want to use that terminology, but in a way, it's kind of like you're stirring up the energies, so, and I think it attracts them.
I think that the higher your vibrational frequency is, the more activity you experience. And so if you have a higher vibrational frequency, and I talk about this all the time on my channel, like with, I do like oracle card readings and spiritual guidance and stuff, because I've gone through like a spiritual awakening myself over the past few years. And I've learned that, healing trauma and getting out of like a deep depression, I mean, I've been there, and I've been through, like I tell people, like I've clawed my way out of hell, like the past couple of years. And I'm learning how to raise my vibration, and I am having a lot more paranormal experiences now, because I'm on that frequency where I can see things and I can hear and I can feel, and I'm just vibrating on that frequency now. And so I think that's like a really big factor when it comes to, especially like even remote viewing and stuff, and being on that vibe. Your vibe attracts your tribe too. Okay. Yeah. So that's why me and Marty are friends, right, Marty?
Well, somebody asked what a singing bowl is, so
yeah,
that's it.
Those are all. Well, and some people think that opens up portals. Like it actually, the vibrational frequency can open up a portal.
I've heard that.
Yeah, it's all about the vibe. It is. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I would agree. Even doing, like we do the paranormal stuff, it's about your vibration and stuff too. I'm a big believer in, especially when we do a private case and don't know what we're walking into, like to be mentally well, physically well. It's not, because you can become a target, And
it's important to cleanse to also cleanse yourself and cleanse your own energy, because you never know if something can attack. Because listen, you can put up all the protections you want, and you still may encounter something that could still, try to attach to you or things like that. So it's always good to make sure that you're cleansing yourself and cleansing your, keeping your home cleansed, especially if you're going out there working on cases, active cases like that, like you guys do. You're kind of like, like you're doing it so much, it's possible that once in a blue moon, something can slip and somebody could come home with one of you or something like that. You know what I mean? But I mean, you have to.
I've had hitchhikers.
Get a really. There's maintenance that goes along with doing those kind of, investigations, which is, it's a lot. It can be a lot if you're actively out there on cases all the time. So,
Do either of you ladies carry stones or anything like that when you guys are out in the field?
I never go out in the field without my stones.
Me too.
I carry quartz crystals sometimes. Yes. Actually, here's the thing. Like when I go out in the field, and especially on investigations, I usually pick up quartz and I bring it home, and I have like a collection of all the different places I've investigated with like Bigfoot stuff. And I keep them And it was like, but then I come home and I'm thinking, okay, so you guys know about, it was called the stone tape theory. And I'm thinking, like, maybe this wasn't such a great idea, bringing these stones home, because the quartz, it takes in all the energy of those areas and stuff,
Right.
and I'm investigating places that are highly active.
Right.
However, I also feel like when I pick up the stones, like I think they're fine. They're fine. I've cleansed them with my energy, my aura.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah. But it is a nice little souvenir, actually, I guess you could say, for me, from all the different places I've been. And there's just a lot of power in those quartz.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of quartz in Georgia, by the way.
Wow.
So it's everywhere.
I brought some quartz home from Georgia.
Oh, yeah. Me too. I have some. I have some on that trip.
So, Jessica, what makes you feel like you brought home a hitchhiker? Did you have something happen?
I have it on video. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I was out at the meadow, and this is the area that my team researches, and this is where they videoed the portal. Okay, and the people went inside of it and came out. We have so much activity and weirdness there. And I was there one weekend, and my son was really small back then. He was like 3. So this was about 5 years ago. And so what I would normally do is, like, I couldn't stay the whole time the team was out there. So I'd stay like 1 or 2 nights, and then I'd come home to take care of my son, because I can't take my kid out there, it was too dangerous. And so I left one afternoon. I came home, and my son was in my living room on the elliptical machine. Okay. I had an elliptical machine in my living room. Okay. Real fancy, but he was in there working out. But he had on his pull-ups, or like some underwear or something. Yeah. And his dad, who I was married to at the time, he was videoing him on his camera phone. And so my son was looking cute and on the elliptical, and suddenly these 2 balls of light showed up and started dancing all around his head. Wow. And around the room. And his dad was like, "Hey, come in here. You got to see this. You're going to love this," is what he said. And I walked in the room, and I saw with my own eyes, I saw these 2 balls of light. They were like ping pong balls. Wow. And they were dancing around my son, and I thought I was seeing bugs. And I say that in the video. I'm like, "Oh, are those bugs?" Yeah. Because I was so confused, because, your brain, your rational mind goes to like what you think that is, like what you know already. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like I said earlier, it's like what you know. So I'm thinking like lightning bugs, moths, something. Right. And I keep saying, "Are those bugs?" And my son is looking at them and pointing, going, "Mom, ball, Mom." And his dad was holding the phone. He could not see them with his own eyes. He could only see them through the phone, the camera on the phone, on his screen. No matter how hard he looked, he couldn't see them with his bare eyes. But I could see them. My son could see them. Right. And they eventually ended up shooting towards his phone, and it cut the camera off, and his phone died and went dead. Oh, wow. Yeah. And so we had that recorded. And that was the day that I came back from the meadow, those 2 orbs. So we call that the hitchhiker phenomenon. Wow. I don't know what those were.
So what, did you just cleanse your house after something like that?
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. I saged. Yes. You sage, you say some prayers, all that stuff. It was, it didn't seem threatening. I didn't feel like I was in harm's way or anything, but you still, when things like that happen, you do want to cleanse and clear your house in the area, especially if you have kids and, all that stuff. You don't want anything, knowing the high strangeness there, those could have been like ETs or something. I don't know. Yeah. They could have been anything. So I just didn't want them there. They're not allowed. Right. I totally understand. Totally understand. Today, BMR had a friend of mine on his show, Terry Mosby, and she does the CE5, which is like communicating, with the ETs, whoever's up above. What do you guys feel about that? Do you guys? To me, I think it's a form of meditation, that a lot of us do, and what do you guys think? What's your opinions on that? I can tell you mine.
Matt and I have tried it. Matt and I have tried to use the CE5, the tones. We've tried it, but it's not, we don't have any more success with it than we do just kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know. They find us. I
Right.
I don't seem to feel like the CE5 is something that like you have to do to have that kind of activity at all.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
We've used the CE5 as well in the field. It didn't do anything. We didn't have any success out of it. Now we don't think we did. Like maybe something happened, we just don't know. But, we just would go out there and use it in the field, and there were a lot of we had some problems with it and stuff because you have to have it like on your. We kind of streamed it and stuff, and like we don't have internet connection where we go, and it was a pain in the butt. First of all, okay.
Right.
Second of all, we didn't get anything out of it, and third of all, when you start calling in ETs and UFOs, you have to be prepared for what you're going to get.
Yes.
Okay, and this is just real life. This is real talk, y'all. Okay. I was contacted. This is going to be anonymous. I can't give details, but I was contacted by a very close friend of mine a couple of years ago, who's actually part of my team. And some close friends of his were having problems. There was a family with children, and the mother was calling in UFOs, and she thought it was cool. Okay. She figured out how to call, like, I don't think it wasn't CE5, it was something else, but she was calling them in, and she would literally have UFOs flying over her house, and she thought it was really fun. And it was like a parlor trick kind of, and it was fun until like her kids were not waking up for school in time in the mornings, and their grades dropped, and they were exhausted all the time. And she couldn't figure out what was going on. It started affecting the family. The family was affected by something, but they weren't connecting the dots. And then they started feeling like they were being watched in their house. They set up cameras, and there were ETs looking in their windows at night. And I have pictures of that. I was sent pictures. I was asked to help, try to stop it. I gotta tell everybody, there's not a whole lot you can do when ETs put you on the radar. When you're calling them in, it's just like, use it. Like, I think Tex had put a question in the chat earlier about like Ouija boards and something like that. I don't recommend doing that at your home at all. I don't recommend calling in, like doing CE5. I don't recommend ghost boxes. I don't recommend Ouija boards. I don't recommend calling in anything that you're not ready to handle.
Exactly.
In your homes, because it's not only going to affect you, it's going to affect your children.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it was a big old mess. Okay. So,
because it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games until all of a sudden it's not.
Right.
You
know what I mean?
It's not fun at all.
And Jessica's right. There's a lot of people that don't know how to protect themselves.
Yep. Agreed.
Let alone their house or their family. And it's something that you have to be very, very aware. It can be dangerous. It really can be. If you don't know what you're doing and you don't know how to protect yourself, it can be a danger to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the same thing even with us, even like, doing EVPs and listening to the, evidence at someone else's house or some other location, bringing it home and doing that, you're still opening that up in your own home, and things can happen. So absolutely. Yeah. That's what I always tell people, when we get private cases, they'll talk about, that they've tried to contact them. I'm like, don't do it,
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do it, and when we go and we do investigations, we're respectful, and we're there to help, our client. We don't charge for what we do or, anything like that. It's just because a lot of these people, reach out to other people, or either number one, they want to charge them an arm and a leg to go, and help them, or number two, they go for their own self gratification, not their intentions are wrong. They're not there to help the client, and that's why we do it. I tell people all the time, we don't do this for fun, honestly. When I started doing this 15 years ago, I thought, it'd be cool to go ghost hunting, and then it just progressed to what it is. And really, it takes a lot of preparation, as does, I feel like, even with going out with what you guys do out in the cryptid world, that, you got to,
this is how dangerous something can, this is, okay. So I don't talk about this a lot. I really
Mhm.
don't. I don't talk a lot about it in public. I don't talk about it on my show, but I will just tell you Cliff Notes version. I can't give details. I won't do that.
Mhm.
But I will tell you that there was a time Matt and I were on an investigation. There were other people that were there. They did a ritual and invoked something,
Mhm.
and it didn't bother them. We had no idea that it happened. We didn't know they were doing it,
Mhm.
and it has affected our lives.
Mhm.
So you just have to be careful, because it's not, maybe it won't affect you. You know
Right.
what I mean? Maybe it's not going to affect you, but it could affect someone else anywhere near where it can be around. So you have to, there's a great responsibility that goes with
Mhm.
doing these kinds of things. And you
Yep.
have to be cognizant of putting other people in danger, that you could put
Yep.
other people in danger doing things like that. So you have to, you have to be, I mean, needless to say, we work closely with an occultist, and
Mhm.
we have for quite a while,
Yeah.
and it's something that happened to us, and we're working through it, but
Mhm. Yeah. And
you
that's
know,
I get what you're saying. I studied demonology under Jeremy Leonard, and I only did it just because of number one for knowledge, but the
Mhm.
first thing was I had helped in a true demonic case before I did that. And had I known what I learned after doing the demonology type part of it, I never would have done it.
I
You
was
know,
gonna say that you probably
yeah,
wouldn't have done it.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Mhm.
Now I know that I'm marked, and at any time, I can be
Mhm.
attacked, and as can my family. So
Mhm.
I take every precaution to protect myself, my family. To you know
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's bad shit. People don't realize, the TV shows, I think, sensationalize a lot of this stuff, and
Yeah.
that's
They
not what
do.
it's like, at
Mhm.
all.
Mhm.
And another thing, we hold a lot of events at public locations and raise money for that location, for historical preservation.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we'll have attendees come in there and they'll be like, can you say our name, or can you touch me? Well, no, you don't do that. You are opening a door there. Never
Mhm.
get personal with them. And I always tell these people that, and they look at me weird, well, they do that on TV. Well, I'm telling you, they don't tell you this on TV. You're opening that door and you are letting them in by telling
Mhm.
them to touch you or say your
Right.
name, or, and I'm
Because
very,
words have power. I tell people this all the time. Your
yes,
words have power. You
yes.
have the power to invite something in, but you
Mhm.
do also have your words to use. And don't forget this, everybody and anybody. You have the power to tell something to leave, to
Yep.
stop, to not touch you, to not be in your home, to stay outside, to not
Yeah.
follow you home, to not
Mhm.
attach to you or anything that you have. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, your
Yeah.
words have power.
Mhm.
So it's all about the intention and the words
Yep.
that you use. So you have to choose them wisely.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. We got some questions here. We better get to some of these questions.
I was just getting ready to say, we better get some, we could talk all night long. We better
Yeah.
get some questions.
Seriously. Okay. The first one, I'll ask, question for Jessica. Have you ever remote reviewed a location and the person you're remote viewing see you?
Or the entity, yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been told to leave places. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Hmm.
Now,
And
do you know if it was in a human or not?
I don't like to label things. So it was, I mean, I'll just say it was an energy. Yeah, it could have been a person. It was
Okay.
something. Yeah.
Okay.
It was something. It was probably a
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Something
I can
similar.
understand that you
Something
might
that
not
had a
know. You can just
consciousness.
feel the energy.
It
yeah.
was something conscious. Like it
Okay.
was something that told me to get, and it's been more than once.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Yes. But I
That's
don't have to leave if I don't want to. So
no,
yeah.
really,
But
you don't.
it just depends. It depends on what I think the target is. Because see, my targets are blind usually. So for the most part,
Yeah.
yeah. So
wow.
Yeah.
yeah, I have to use
Next
my own intuition.
Next one is Penny Van, and this is for you, and I think it's just a statement. She said, "We all come to know an outing with Jessica requires special equipment, adult diapers, extra energy bars, extra shoes, and a flamethrower, just to list a few."
You don't need a flamethrower. I got you covered. I'll protect you. Okay. I'm totally equipped. We don't need a flamethrower.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
It says, question for the channel. Do any of y'all get stronger feelings, experiences in certain locations and situations?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. That's it. Just yep.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
It depends. I mean, if I'm, it depends. It just depends on where I am and if I open myself up too. You know what I mean? Like I can go on a hike and not open myself up and literally just go for a hike and just enjoy the day and not open myself up and have a great day, not have any issues or any problems or
Yep.
I was gonna say that it depends on where my vibration is at.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I have an extreme high or an extreme low, I'll feel everything. So much more. But if I'm pretty even, I'm good. Everything's fine.
Yeah, makes sense. Glenn asked, have any of you brought anything malignant home with you?
Malignant? Yeah,
just my ex. I'm just kidding.
Hey,
I will say
that remark.
I've had two experiences where something. Okay, so one experience. Excuse me, my voice is going. I had a Native American came home with me, but he wasn't causing any problems. He wasn't causing any issues. But I had been in New Orleans, and it was before I started my journey on, any of this, and I had no experience and I had no idea, and something attached to me, came home, and we were having a lot of paranormal stuff going on in the house. It attacked Matt a couple of times. Yeah, and we had trouble getting it out of the house. I mean, it was very, I don't know what the heck it was, honestly.
Sure.
And because of that situation, that's when I was like, I never wanted to open the door again. I never wanted to open myself up to anything like that again. And I started just shutting it all down, shutting it down. And then that's when I started being depressed because I then wasn't able to kind of like deal with things because I was just shutting everything out and shutting everything down. So it was kind of like I had to learn and do a lot of shadow work and go through my trauma before I could kind of start the journey that I'm on now. So it is like Jessica had mentioned earlier about facing your trauma and facing those fears and dealing with all of your stuff helps you raise that vibration. And once you start raising your vibration, you will see those kind of entities. They don't mess with you.
Right.
They don't mess with you because you're on a higher vibration than they are.
And that counts, and also that's humans too. Like people that in the 3D. Once you raise your vibration, you will like be like a magnet to people who are like you on your vibration, and you will repulse 100%. Anything that's not on your vibration. So like low vibing energies won't even register. Like they won't hear what each other says.
Yeah,
like it they'll just kind of fade away.
So I don't fear it anymore. I have no more fear of those things.
I'm a big believer in positivity breeds positivity, and negativity can breed negativity. So even on like Facebook, and I'm sure you guys can all relate, you see people on there who are always negative. And I can't stand it. I literally, and I'm telling you, people out there now who I'm friends with on Facebook, if I see a bunch of it, I will unfollow you. I won't unfriend you, but I will unfollow you so I don't see the negativity. Because I mean, it just, you get tired.
Do y'all ladies get friend requests from all of these dudes with their AK-47s?
Yeah.
I wish. What?
And you look at
Send him, I like AK-47. Send him my way. I'm
and
just kidding.
I'm like, okay, that gun is bigger than he is.
No,
Like,
this
what
is
is going
basically what I say. I just say, I bet my AR-15 is bigger than your AR-15. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
I mean, but yeah, I mean, I get a grin out of it. I do. I get a grin out of it. And I'm like, how are you going to protect me against what I do?
they're
Your
either
gun
holding
is
a
not going to protect me in
semi-automatic.
any paranormal, you know,
They're either
encounter.
holding a semi-automatic weapon or a gigantic fish. One or the other.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything
Yep.
wrong with either of those. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
no. I never said there was anything wrong. I just asked if you guys were getting them too.
yes.
Yes.
And you're like, hey,
Yeah.
I caught a fish. It was this big.
So I got to ask while we're on the subject. Now, I got a male part picture. Have you guys gotten those yet?
No.
No, because you know what? I repel stuff like that. I'm not looking for that kind of stuff. So
I'm like, what the hell? And
If
I'm calling Brandy. I'm like, oh my God,
No.
you're not going to believe this.
no.
I do my best to not to I try to look
No.
at their profile before I accept a friend request.
Right.
Kind of try to filter out. But I will say
Right.
that there have been people that like, okay, I'll accept their friend request, and 2 seconds later, yes, a body part would pop up, and I'm like, you're
I'm
blocked.
Yep,
Bye
that's what I
later.
do. I block them immediately. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, you know.
I don't understand, guys out there. I want you to hear, at least for me, this is my opinion. I don't want to see your body parts.
Thank you. Speak for all of us. You go right ahead.
Yeah, all of us here. Speak for all of us, Marty. Give it to them.
We do not
just
want
don't.
to see your body. Keep your body parts to
That's right.
yourself.
Right.
If I
Keep it
want to see
covered.
your body part, I'll
Modesty,
ask
guys.
for it.
Yeah.
Simple.
So true though. Oh my gosh. That yeah. When
Oh,
I got
yeah. So,
yeah, that somebody
Now
just
I'm gonna probably have a million messages tonight.
with a whole bunch of body parts.
So
right,
it'll be a foot.
right.
And
Scott says
Here's
I
my
just sent
elbow.
one to my wife.
Check out my elbow.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's just yeah, just be nice and be respectful out there, everybody.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes, we are
We
respectable
appreciate you,
women here. We're not
Right.
we're not out on the streets. Come on, guys.
Right.
Raise your, raise your vibration, gentlemen.
Right. There you go.
I guess most people know who I'm married to, and they just don't mess with me like that.
That's good.
Yeah. You're lucky, Latisha.
I am. I've got a good man.
Yeah, you do. You do.
You're not out here in single land like we are.
Well, yeah.
It's rough out here.
I'm sorry. I'm pretty
One
happy.
Criminal 7 says, what did the portal look like? And I think, Jessica, he was meaning you and Marty.
Yeah.
You guys were out there in the field.
Well, I can tell you what the portal that we actually documented looked like. It was actually a cube. It looked like it was about the size of like a small shed that you put behind your house. It was pretty big. But it was shaped like a square, and you could not see it with your invisible eye. They could only see that through the FLIR, the thermals. You could just see the heat signature on it. So there was nothing there to the naked eye. And so that was the portal that our team encountered.
The portal that we had, that we saw, that was across the street from our campsite, though, and that it was circular. It was it was a perfect circle.
A perfect circle.
Perfect
wow.
circle.
Okay.
Mhm.
About how big was it?
Pretty big.
Wow.
It was like if you put your arms up like this, it was like that big.
Yeah, I mean it was big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
A couple feet in diameter, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see here. Let's go to Rhonda asked, have you guys ever used a shofar horn?
Shofar, no. I've never used one. Have you ever?
No.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever heard.
I haven't heard of one.
A shofar is they use it in in Judaism. It's a ram's horn, and they blow it. It's supposed to be like the trumpet that they talk about in biblical texts.
Right.
It's I don't know what would happen if you used a shofar. I'm gonna be honest with you because I have been in temples and I've heard the shofar being used, and it is a specific vibration.
That frequency,
and
we can open portals. I'm pretty sure.
That's what I was just going to say. I have heard that they can open portals with shofars.
Wow.
I don't think I'd want to use one.
No.
Yeah,
well, it depends on what you want to try to conjure up. I guess.
Well, you can't be specific, I guess. So I would say I wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't know.
I don't know whether I would do it or not.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm pretty sure that your friend Cindy was talking about using a shofar horn today on Texas.
Terry. Show. Yeah, Terry.
Yeah. Was it Terry? Yeah, it was Terry. You're right.
I must have missed that. Must have been when I got cut out or something. Yeah.
Pretty sure it was her talking about it. So.
Okay.
Well, we use didgeridoo sometimes out in the field. When we're just playing around. Like one of the guys on my team has a didgeridoo, and that vibrational frequency, it really does change the whole environment. And I believe it does call in entities or Bigfoot, basically. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Matt loves to bring his harmonica. He loves to do that.
Yeah, any kind of music.
That's also another thing that has kind of worked for us too.
Wow. Tex asked, what's your take on ghost boxes versus witch boards?
What's a witch board?
It's like a Ouija board? Probably a Ouija board.
I think he's meaning like an Ouija board.
Yeah, same thing.
I don't know. I don't use either of them anymore. I don't know. They're the same to me.
I've never, I have never used a Ouija board in my life. I've never been even anywhere near it. I think, in my opinion, I think Jess and I kind of differ on this one subject, because I feel like a Ouija board is like any other divination tool. And how you use it, again, being responsible, because you have to know what you're doing. How you use it depends, that's whatever your outcome is going to be, is how what your intention was, right? So I don't think I think Ouija boards get a little bit of a bad rap, in my opinion, but I've never used one either. So
I've used one. It was bad.
And spirit,
that's why I say that.
Boxes, we don't really use spirit boxes. So
well, and then there's also the whole thing. Like I had Jody Cook on my show yesterday, and he was talking about this is a possible like government program where they can infiltrate your ghost boxes and things like that, and like put voices in your head and in your ghost boxes when you're in, and they test it out on ghost hunters. It's just weird. Like we live in such a strange universe right now, and so everything can be manipulated. So you don't know, like, who is that voice coming through that ghost box? That's always been our questions with my team. Like, we don't know who that voice is. You think it's Aunt Edna? It could be a demon or whatever you want to call it. It could be whatever. It's not. It's usually not who it says it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I know when my brother passed away, I was looking for answers. I wanted to make sure he was okay. Like he had gone to heaven, all that kind of stuff. This was 17 years ago. And I went down the rabbit hole of ghost boxes and things like that. And, I had voices coming through. I did a ghost box session with a guy named Christopher Moon, who had like one of those ghost boxes to the dead, telephone to the dead or whatever. This was almost 20 years ago. So it was a long time ago. And all these voices were coming through, and they claimed to be like my brother and my great grandparents and my aunts and my granddaddy, but it wasn't their voices. However, these voices knew things about me, and but I never could say for sure. Like, well, I can say for sure that was my brother, So I kind of have a little slight issue with those things, because they can be manipulated, and we really don't know who's coming through.
Matt and I use. Well, I mean, I can't say we use like a ghost box or anything like. What we do is we we have a lot of we do, it's called the Estes method,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
we do
Yep.
that. We've done that a lot. But for me, I feel like that's very different because, you're completely, you have you're totally completely, you can't hear anything, you can't see anything. All you're hearing is just what's coming through those,
Absolutely.
through the headphones. So it's all you're
Yeah.
hearing, but you have no perception of where you are or anything like that, right? So the other person is asking questions, and all
Yeah.
you're doing is repeating what you hear. So
Right.
for me, I don't know, I feel more comfortable that way than kind of, I think it's very different. It's
Mm-hmm.
different. It's a
Yeah.
different, for me, it's different. It's not the same thing as just like using a spirit box. I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
I'm more comfortable doing
I,
that
I guess
than
my
anything else.
opinion, my opinion on the whole thing is a door is a door. You
Mhm,
open it, it's open. Regardless of how you
mhm,
use it, it's
Mhm.
open. Now it's having the skill and the knowledge to learn how to close it.
mhm.
You have
Oh,
to have
100%.
that knowledge
Right.
to be able to use something like that successfully without
Mhm.
anything lingering or
Yeah,
in that could cause damage.
I
right.
mean,
But
yeah, I have to close. I have to open up the energies and close them down when I remote view. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing.
it's the
Uh,
same thing because
you you have
you
to you
don't want
have
to
to
leave that
learn how to
open.
you open the energy, you close it down.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely. Absolutely. Here. Next question is, let's put this up here. I think this is more of a statement, and it is. And the reason I put it up there, weapons won't work against demons. I think you believe in the demonic or fallen angels. Weapons won't work against demonic creatures. Pray. And the reason I brought this up is because Latisha, can you tell everybody about like Barton's experience encounter and then why he didn't have one for so many years?
Well, just real quick, he had an encounter. Something had crawled in the bed with him at one night, and he just froze. He couldn't move. He couldn't do nothing. He was just scared to death, and he just started, praying in his mind, asking for God to get rid of the demon that was in the bed with him or whatever it was. And it disappeared. And Bart has not had an experience with anything Inhumanoid, cryptid, any other thing since then
Yeah.
until we was at LBL the other night.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know.
Which is, kind of goes back to the theory, of like what some of these creatures could be out there. He prayed them away and it worked. But it's about your intentions. His intentions were there, and
Yeah.
so it worked.
And your words have power.
Exactly.
Well, and then we were talking about stones and crystals and things like that. And maybe he overprotected himself. I'm just saying, because when I walk into a location and I have crystals on me, I can't see nothing, I can't hear
Mhm.
anything. I mean, it's just like I'm a repellent. Nothing, I
Yeah.
just get nothing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But if I go outside,
What kind
take
of
them off
crystals
my body,
what kind
it's
of
a whole
crystals are
different
you
story.
taking with you, if you don't mind me asking?
What do I take them with me? Nothing.
No, I mean,
Nothing. Oh,
what kind of like crystals are you taking with you when you're feeling like nothing can reach you or you don't sense anything or whatever? Like,
it's usually when I carry more than two kinds. I usually
Mhm.
carry like tourmaline or
Yeah.
that's basically most of the ones I have. Tourmaline amethyst is usually one of the two that I have just to keep everything
Mhm.
calm and protected.
Mhm.
But it just seems like whenever I carry anything like that with me now, I don't hear anything. So what I've done is, I've said this before on our show, is my car is a fortress.
Mhm.
You get out of the car, you do what you do, you get back in the car, well, you're safe. Everything is
Mhm.
repelled from my car. So that way, when I leave a location, I leave everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The reason why I do that now is because I had a hitchhiker. I call them hitchhikers because they just come home with you. They're like checking
Mhm.
everything out. They get bored with you. They go wherever they go.
Mhm.
It's like they're there. They cause a little bit of, problem. You see a little bit and then they're gone. And I had that one time and I won't have it again.
Mhm.
I don't want them in my home. I have enough problems in my own home. I don't need that.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
um, but like I said, getting into my car, that's why I do that, is because I want to feel safe when I leave somewhere, a location.
Yeah.
Well, people were saying that so many people say that what he experienced was sleep paralysis. But I don't see how, if he was having sleep paralysis, calling on the name of Jesus would have caused it to just stop. That don't make sense. I feel like it was some kind of demon that was attacking him. And with him not having any experiences since then, it just seems to me that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he got rid of
Yeah,
him.
that was strange. That was strange. And
I think that, a lot of times what resonates with you and kind of, I want to say this right.
Yeah.
Sometimes what you think happened is what happened. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
your first thought is usually the right one. And if that's what he felt and that's what he thought it was, and that's what he thought saved him from that situation, then that's probably what happened. You know what I mean? Like, it's what resonates with you. You'll like, if that's what your first thought is, it's generally the right answer.
Yeah.
He said what he said. And he had his intent backing what he said. So
yeah, when I do paranormal type stuff, I always carry black tourmaline. I carry obsidian, and I also I'm a big believer in the iron. So I have horseshoe nails also.
I love
Apache
hematite.
tears are one of my favorite too. Apache tears.
I love all of those, but I also love hematite.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good one too. That is.
Well, you need to come to the LPL. I'm just saying. You just need to come, Marty. Now there it is. You said you like that. Guess what lake's there?
Hematite Lake is at LBL.
Yes. It's all just laying around out there.
Yes.
We can go out there and be free.
Yeah.
Be happy, be free.
Yep.
Maybe
I'll think about it.
There.
I'll think about it. How about that?
There you go. Tex asks, do you ladies pray to Jesus and the man upstairs before, after, and during your investigations?
I pray to the man upstairs always.
Yep. I personally.
I pray.
Yep. And I always, me personally, before I go in any location, I white light myself. And I also always say I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. That's my own personal thing, but it works for me,
Well, I recently started actually praying for the cryptids.
Oh, that's a great idea. Wow.
So, did you say praying for them?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, that's cool.
I guess for me, I don't pray enough. I mean, I do, but I guess I just don't pray enough. I don't have a set time where I do it. I don't necessarily do it every time before every investigation or after or before I go to bed or first thing in the morning. It's
what works for you.
It has to come from the heart, Brandy. It has to come from the heart.
It's not a clockwork for me. Yeah, it could be just random. Like I'm driving down the road and I'm like, well, you know what? I haven't talked to you in a while, so let's talk while I'm on the road, or or I'm sitting at work and I'm going through this mundane task and I'm like, hey, let's talk. It's just whatever feels good for me at the time.
I have night when I pray. I'll go to bed and I'll start my prayer, and I'll be talking to him, and then I'll just drift off and be like, okay, I was in the middle of a prayer and something happened, and then I have to go back and start over. So
he's like, girl, I heard you. I heard you. Don't worry.
Real quick. When I said I pray for cryptids, what I actually should have said was, and I will clarify, I pray for the Sasquatch. That's what I do. I recently, it came to my attention that that's something that I need to be doing, and that's what I do.
Right.
I've been doing that.
Well, good deal.
I could see that everything could use a prayer. Anything, everything can use a prayer.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, guys, we're coming up to the 2-hour mark, and
we're over the 2-hour mark.
You guys.
Oh, we are.
Oh, God.
And
see, this is what happens. We get on here, we get talking, and I have got to pack my clothes.
Well, real quick, Tex says, "Howdy, ladies! What an all-star lineup! We could have a Texas front porch beauty pageant."
He says that now until I start making fun of him, but that's beside the point.
Right. So, Marty, you want to tell everybody where they can find you? I've been dropping your link throughout the night in chat.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yes, my channel's called the NonnaBoss Continuum. I'm on. I recently got a Rumble account. I started. It is just the NonnaBoss actually on Rumble, and the NonnaBoss Continuum on Instagram. That's it. I'm not a lot of places.
Yeah, I get it. What about you, Jessica?
Well, I have a YouTube channel. It's called The Cryptidhuntress, and I have. Sorry, my German Shepherd just busted in my door. Yeah. Okay. So I do a daytime show every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and then I have a nighttime show on my channel every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay. And then I'm also a weekend host at Spaced Out Radio. So you guys can find me on Spaced Out Radio, 10 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday nights. In addition to all these other shows I do all the time, and whatever. I'm somewhere. You guys can find me on social media at the Cryptid Huntress. I'm on Twitter at Huntress Jessica, and I got Patreon. I got a shop called War Woman Goods, and
Which is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm also going to be at the Georgia Bigfoot Conference this year, speaking on April 1st, April Fool's Day. So y'all come see me up in Dillard, Georgia. Yeah. And I got a bunch of conferences and stuff I'm going to be at. So it's all on my website, thecryptidhuntress.com. Y'all.
And you still have time to be a mom?
And her Patreon, I'm telling you guys, you will love Jessica's Patreon. And because I'm like a VIP or level or
you're a VIP Patreon.
Yeah,
Marty.
but I mean, like when you become one of her VIP members on Patreon, she's always sending beautiful things. I mean, I have so many pieces of jewelry from her. From like, you have no idea. She always like sends her VIPs something very nice.
You get keychains, Cryptid Huntress merch.
That's right.
Is what it
That's
is.
right.
Yeah.
All kinds of Cryptid Huntress. You will love it. It's worth it.
Yes, I'm just ordering. I just ordered some new stuff too, Marty. So
did you?
Yes, it's gonna be awesome. So y'all join. Yes, everybody. It's fun.
Yeah. Jessica, real quick, you're going to be in Grafton, Illinois.
I am. I'm actually So actually, May the 19th through the 21st, I'm going to be in Las Vegas at the Spaced Out Radio fan party. We're doing a big party at the Golden Nugget. We're broadcasting live, and then I fly straight from Las Vegas to Grafton, Illinois for the Journey to Truth conference. They threw the Secret Space Program conference last year. This year, we've got a great lineup of speakers. I'm one of them. I'm so honored to be there. Barry Littleton will be there speaking as well.
Happy for you.
Yeah, thank you.
So I told Brandy about that, and Grafton, I'm on the St. Louis side, outside of St. Louis, but it's only 30 minutes from me.
I think I'm flying into St. Louis. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you would be if you're flying.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it only puts it like 3 hours from me.
Yeah,
nice.
But you're 30
y'all
minutes
should come.
So we actually talked about that, about coming over to see you.
I would love that. I'm going to be there all week. It's like a week-long conference. So y'all come see me. Yeah.
We're
going to be doing some
together again, Jess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Marty, do you have any conferences coming up that people can come up and meet you? And
I am going to be at the Ocala Bigfoot conference here in Florida. I will be. It's April 22nd. I will be there that entire weekend. So if anybody is in the area, please, I really, really want to meet everybody. I love meeting people. It's that soul tribe, and it's that fellowshipping that we all get to do at these conferences. And it means so much to me, and it means so much to all of us when we get together and we raise our vibration. And let me tell you, big things happen. I love it.
Absolutely. And Latisha, I know Barton has a few things going on this year that you'll be with him at, and that what is that one in July we're doing? Oh, Gatlinburg.
Gatlinburg, yes. We'll be at the Gatlinburg Bigfoot Conference. And you can get a hold of him on YouTube on Inhumanoids with Barton Nunnelly.
Yep. And I've been sharing all three of your guys' stuff all night long.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For sure.
That.
Yeah, I've
sure.
been seeing it whiz through the chat. I was like, whoa, whoa.
I've
There's
been
a
trying
lot
to
of
share
chat
and,
tonight. Everybody
and
was
I've seen
talking.
yeah, I've seen several others too, share
Yeah.
everybody's links too. So we definitely appreciate you guys. And you know what? This has been fun. I really, really,
Yes.
truly like maybe sometime in the fall we could come back and all of us do this again.
Sure.
If you guys are open
Absolutely.
to it, because this is fun.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, we'll
For
we'll
sure.
find another woo topic.
Yeah. We'll come up with something. Hey, we got a whole year of stuff. They'll be experiencing more things. We will.
Absolutely.
I know. That's
we'll
what
have
I'm
more to
thinking.
talk
That we
about.
need to like take this summer and just get some really cool stories and get back here in the fall and
Sounds
talk
good.
about all our cool stories.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Tomorrow
Thank
night,
you, guys.
Aaron and I will be up in, not Aaron, Brandy and I will be up in Auburn, Illinois. There are still tickets available. It is a fundraiser for Lost Limbs Foundation. And tomorrow night, the Kling brothers are up there. So they're some awesome guys. And so we'll be up there tomorrow night. So tomorrow night's show will actually be a pre-recorded show. And it's on the Ray County Museum, and it's got a little bit of a murder twist to it. So be sure to listen into that one. And then we'll be back here next Thursday. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up too. So yeah. We appreciate everybody tuning in, and thank you to all three of you. You guys are all wonderful, and you guys are all
Thanks for
welcome.
coming.
Thank you.
Thank you
Y'all
for
help
having
me
me.
out with y'all help me out with my coughing, my hacking, sneezing, runny nose, internet problems.
Thank everybody in chat. Thank you. You guys, thank you so much for all your support and encouragement tonight and all the lovely comments. And thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Bye-bye.